rehabilitated, and real entertaining. This is the Carl Jackson Podcast.
All right.
David's hitting the basket. Oh, it's all right.
Well, you got him.
You still make.
All right.
All right, welcome to the Carl Jackson Show, your daily dose of objective truth in a world of confusion and lies. I want you to understand what you just watched in that quick video. In that one quick video, you saw a gay man that is complicit in sexualizing a young boy that's also teaching that young boy, listen, if someone like a Republican has a different worldview than you do, you should hate them. You shouldn't discuss anything with them because you have a different worldview. Oh, and by the way to deal with them is through violence. So just so you know what you saw, we've got to defeat these radical LGBTQ communists. And that was on full display in that one short video. Okay, moving on. I want to play this video. This is of Joe Biden. What did he say in this video? Anyway, let's play it. He literally talks about plundering the United States of America and jokes around. This guy is off of his rocker. He's gone. And part of the problem with dementia is this guy. It's like a drunk, right? They start telling the truth. And I believe Joe Biden just slipped up. So I want you to hear this audio of Joe Biden in front of the Prime Minister of India.
I was just thanking, anyway, I started off without you. And I sold a lot of state secrets and a lot of very important things that we share.
All right, he admits it. Joe Biden admits that he has sold a lot of state secrets, and I absolutely believe every word that just came out of that dementia patient's mouth. And you should too, because it is obvious that he has sold out the United States of America to enrich himself, he and his brother and his son, Hunter Biden. Okay, now I just want to get to the news get through some news before I go into DeSantis's plan for the border. And I'm curious as to how you guys feel about this. So feel free to message me. Best places to message me: Twitter, Facebook. Twitter and Facebook are probably the best places to message me where I can respond the quickest. It's at The Carl Jackson Show. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Facebook. I'm on True Social. I'm on Getter. But Twitter and Facebook, I probably will respond to you the quickest, most frequently. Also, this show is brought to you in part, actually not in part, this show is brought to you by MyPillow, MyPillow.com. Mike Lindell at the fabulous company MyPillow.com, providing American jobs and American manufacturing. Right now, he still has this special offer exclusive to my listeners for the new MyPillow 2.0. That's right. It comes with the same patented adjustable feel as the original MyPillow, but now it has this temperature regulating thread that makes it softer, smoother, and even cooler. So you can, if there's a buy one, get one free offer, so you can buy one for yourself and a friend, yourself and your spouse, and you will absolutely love these pillows. I guarantee it. All right, so all you have to do is call 800-858-0263. Give them my name, Carl, C-A-R-L, to get that deal, the buy one, get one free offer. Or you can go directly to mypillow.com, click on the radio listener square at the top of the page, enter my name, Carl. Enter the name Carl, mypillow.com, American jobs, American manufacturing, American products. This new temperature regulating thread is absolutely made in America. So Mike Lindell, let's support him, support his company, and get a good night's rest. You'll absolutely love it. All right, just real quick, some of the things that are popping in the news before we get to Ron DeSantis's border plan. And I got to tell you, this guy this week, guys, I feel like what's happening with this Russia stuff, we're not going to be able to do anything about this. This is wishful thinking. People are hoping that this chef, Putin's former chef, has turned on him. There's a bunch of headlines out there, but the truth of the matter is no one really knows what's going on. I'm not exactly sure how this, at this point, may or may not benefit the United States of America. We don't know who would replace Putin if, in fact, the stories are true and this isn't propaganda. So as the story develops and we learn more, I will share that information. I will be happy to share that information with you, but I don't want to get caught up in the firestorm and distract from some of the issues that we need to start talking about. And I think conservatives really need to start talking about issues. All right. I think people are getting sick and tired, and I'm with you because I'll be talking about some of these issues more. Obviously, the Hunter Biden, the Biden scandal, the Biden crime family corruption scandal. Joe Biden is a crook. I think he just admitted it in the video that you just saw, right? Make sure you subscribe to our Rumble and YouTube page, by the way, so you can check out that video and then rate and review us. If you give us a 5, that's going to help us move up the charts, and we would really, really appreciate that. All right, so check out that video. It's absolutely astounding to me. But I think the left wants us to get distracted by some of the Hunter Biden stuff, even though it is insidious, and even though it is crazy corruption and all this kind of stuff. But the real scandal is still Joe Biden at the heart of it. And the mainstream media wants to distract us from that point. I think they're putting Trump out there, as many headlines on Trump, so you can be distracted from the issues and the things that the Biden administration and is doing to absolutely destroy the United States of America. We all support Trump. He has money. Thank God he's going to be able to fight back against these guys. But I think what the left is trying to do is just bombard the headlines so that we're distracted from the corruption and the damage that the Biden administration is doing. And that isn't to minimize anything that Trump is going through. What he's going through is absolutely horrific. But just understand that there's nothing that we can do about it except pray for him. Pray that all of this stuff will be exposed and he will arise a victor as a result of it. Now, so here's some things that are that are on the tip sheet that I just want to share with you. Again, Putin deal with Prigozhin teetering. I really don't know what to think of that. Again, I don't know if that's propaganda or not, but that's still a big story. As of today, BlackRock CEO is distancing himself from the politicized ESG, but basically he's just calling it another thing. He says that I never said I was ashamed. He's backtracking. And at some point, Larry Fink said he's throwing the towel in on ESG, the environment, social, and governance scores, policies, in name at least, anyway, as a result of effective pushback against attempts by large asset managers such as BlackRock to force the adoption of these woke standards on us. He says he's backing away, but ultimately all he does is rename it. But he does admit in a separate column that when Governor Ron DeSantis took the move to divest $2 billion of Florida's money from BlackRock, he admitted that did hurt them. And I believe other states have done it as well. If so, you should do it. States, governors should do the same. These people don't have the right to dictate what we believe, what we say, how we behave. And that's exactly what they want to do. They think they're gods in and of themselves. So that is an interesting headline that I think you should pay attention to. This ESG stuff is really scary, in my opinion. Let's see. Sweden makes a U-turn on green energy. Sweden just dealt a severe blow to the globalist climate agenda by scrapping its green energy targets. In a statement announcing the new policy in the Swedish parliament, Finance Minister Elizabeth, I can't pronounce her last name, warned that the Scandinavian nation needs a, quote, stable energy system. They're not getting that with green energy. European countries are under constant pressure from multiple directions to shift to the renewable energy to meet the goals of the World Economic Forum's green agenda. So it's pretty ironic that a European country, Sweden, as a matter of fact, is finally waking up to the reality of green energy and the danger that it is causing. It's an absolute waste. It's not going to save the planet. So they're going to nuclear energy, which is the cleanest energy, by the way, the cleanest energy. All right. Now, New York City turns up the heat on iconic pizzerias. So Elon Musk is calling this BS, but these people are just destroying jobs. They're destroying industries. They're destroying the basic, pleasures of life. I've gone to a pizzeria and not too far from here in Central Florida, where they've used these brick oven stoves, and the pizza just tastes so good. It tastes so different. They want to get rid of that. New York City does. So they are basically demanding. There's an edict where they're targeting at least 100 pizzerias that will be forced to change those ovens in the name of climate change to something different, basically something with an air filter system. These companies are having to pay $20,000 for these air filter system, or go with a totally different setup that's not a brick fire oven. I mean, these people, these are wannabe dictators, like the nanny of New York, Kathy Hochul. Crime is out of control. The economy in New York is not that great, and yet here she is messing around with pizza owners. It's so sickening to me. It's just frustrating. All right, now I want to get to the topic at hand, and I'm curious as to what you guys feel about this. But at the same time, listen, I'm a policy guy, and I believe that iron sharpens iron. It's one of the reasons why I wanted one of the reasons why I like primaries. Now, I must admit, I don't like 20,000 people jumping in the primary. I already feel like there's too many Republicans that don't stand a chance in the primary and really don't have anything new to add to the conversation. If you have something new to add to the conversation and you can make our arguments better, precise, and maybe argue some points that have not been made before, Republicans need to make more, then I'm all for you. I know that Larry Elder's in polling high, but I want to see him on the stage because I think he's going to bring up some issues and stats that other candidates won't be able to do, particularly on the fly. Vivek Ramaswamy, this guy is an entrepreneur, just like Donald Trump, except he was in the tech industry. He's got some fabulous ideas. He challenges the status quo. He's more conservative, constitutional leaning. I'd love to see him on stage. He'd be a hard one to deal with. He's smart as all get out, and he just has some great ideas. Don't agree with everything, but he has some great, actually lots of great ideas. Obviously, Donald Trump is the front runner. People want him. People want to see him prevail over the injustice that has been waged against him from the DOJ and all these fake charges trumped up against him as the Democratic Party attempts to take him down. And then you have Governor Ron DeSantis, who, in my estimation, has never been a great campaigner. It seems like he's starting to find his footing, perhaps too little too late. I don't know. But I will say this. He's come out with some fabulous plans. This week, he has been on a roll. And sadly, we've been so focused on some of the headlines that we're not paying attention to the policies that are going to benefit America. And he's rolling out some. He talked about abolishing the DOJ, the Department of Education, how he would strike a blow to both the DOJ, the Department of Education. He's been talking about these things and not getting a lot of press. And it frustrates me because, listen, I like Trump and I like DeSantis. I lean Trump, but I can't lie to you. I wouldn't be mad if DeSantis would get the nomination, because I really do think he would be a great president as well. But I would say this, I like his ideas so much that even if Trump gaffled him, I don't think I know he'd be mad, but I don't think that's a bad thing. I want what's best for the country. I want what's best for all of us, for we the people. All right. And that's what is important to me. But the latest thing DeSantis has unveiled is his no excuses border plan to fight back against the invasion at the border. And I think this has been absolutely, I think it's an absolute amazing plan. And we'll detail that. But first, I want you to hear this audio clip of what DeSantis has to say here. Let's go ahead and roll that clip. Por favor, Gabe.
These guys in the cartels, they can cut through the really fortified steel beams. And I'm just thinking to myself, you spend all this money on that, and you just let them cut through with impunity and do it. And so, I think you need adequate rules of engagement so that, if someone was breaking into your house, you would repel them with the use of force, right? But yet if they have drugs, these backpacks, and they're going in and they're cutting through an enforced structure, we're just supposed to let them in? I say use force to repel them. If you do that one time, they will never do it again. Of course you use deadly force. How would you let somebody just break into your house and do you harm? No. And I could tell you in Texas, they wouldn't do that. Try that in Texas.
I'm sorry. I love that. And frankly, it's about time that it's being said. We've got drug cartels that are running the border thanks to the Biden administration. And we should be able to, our Border Patrol agents, or if we put troops, National Guards, and you have drug cartels that are shooting at our guys, we should be able to use deadly force. I'm absolutely astounded to hear that. Now, let me go on. So obviously what DeSantis is trying to do is trying to get an edge over Donald Trump. And again, I'm curious to what you think about this. Again, my my point of view is I believe that iron sharpens iron. So he built on Donald Trump's plan to make it even better. If he and Donald Trump get into a debate, maybe Donald Trump comes up with a way to make his policies on the border even better. But DeSantis is throwing out some good ideas at the very least, and I think they're worth paying attention to. So again, he's trying to gain an edge over Donald Trump. Obviously, the border was one of Trump's signature policies. He said Mexico would pay for it, all this kind of stuff. Everybody loved it. Everybody ate it up because nobody was talking about that or scared to talk about it, even on the Republican side, when we knew that it was an issue that needed to be talked about. He tried to get it done. He was able to get some of the wall complete. Obviously, we weren't able to complete the wall, and that's why we have an invasion. And not to mention that Joe Biden totally reversed all of Trump's policies. So we've got to make sure that everything is law and everything is solid. So that will be much harder for Democrats to do in the future. So since Biden became president, we know that illegal immigration has skyrocketed and we have a lot more things to worry about now. Obviously, fentanyl that's killing, over 100,000 Americans per year, thanks to this border invasion. And we saw this crisis start to grow, but particularly in the last couple of years, it has just boomed. And China is sending fentanyl and troops as well. But fentanyl across our borders, these people have waged war on us. First COVID, now fentanyl. Also, you have to think about these low-skilled workers that are going to be replacing low-skilled workers here in the United States, illegal aliens that'll be doing that. It's absolutely insane. This will start a housing crisis, as a matter of fact. So all of these things that we don't think about, we need to pay attention to. So housing crisis, crime, not to mention changing. I'm sitting here writing stuff down as I go. Sometimes I'm talking and I come up with ideas. And I want to make sure I don't forget them. So that's exactly what I'm doing. Also, you know what the left is trying to do? They're trying to change the districting maps when it comes to Congress. So this is why we have to fight back on the border. This has to be an issue. This is a national security threat just as much as China is. All right. So that has to be done. Now, here's what DeSantis said to the Washington Examiner. He said, and I quote, "For decades, leaders from both parties have produced empty promises on border security. And now it is time to act," he says, "to stop the invasion once and for all." He goes on to say, "As president, I will declare a national emergency on day one, and I will not rest until we build the wall, shut down illegal entry, and win the war against the drug cartels. No excuses. We will get it done." And I'm here to tell you, one of the things that I find refreshing about DeSantis, and I say this as a person that loves Trump, when he says it too, I believe it. I believe it. This is a guy that, again, wasn't a great campaigner, but he comes in and gets stuff done. I'm telling you, there's plenty to complain about. Don't get me wrong. This guy's a saint. All right. So there's plenty to complain about. And there's reports that he's robotic. That, there's some truth to that. I'm not going to lie. But I saw him in person speak. And honestly, it's changed my perception of him, because I almost think when people are saying he's robotic, those are people that just want to see him lose, as opposed to just reporting the facts. And it's not that he's robotic. He's completely focused. It's like, this is what I want to do. This is it. He doesn't have that gravitas. He doesn't have that personality like Trump. Because Trump is a unique figure. Literally, that guy is one of a kind. You will not see another Trump for another 100 years. You know what I mean? Teddy Roosevelt Trump. You're not going to see it. All right. So that doesn't happen every day. But can you get a Calvin Coolidge? Not bad. You know what I mean? That's that, and I think that's what we might be looking at a Ron DeSantis. So I've been paying attention a little more to his campaign, especially this week, because they've not been getting a lot of headlines. And honestly, I'm sad to say this, but it's true, even in conservative media. See, we're battling it out so much. Oh man, it's Trump. Oh, it's DeSantis. That we're like, whoa. The left is coming after Trump. We get that. So we've got to deal with that, but we've got to walk and chew gum at the same time, because we have to make sure that we're talking about policy too, as independents and moderates, not yet, but soon start paying attention to politics. We want to have our ideas, our policies that we're talking about, boasting about in place, so that they start hearing them over and over and over again. So hopefully they fall in love with our policies. And I don't feel like that's being done enough. And I believe that's intentional. And I would say shame on some of the conservative outlets, many of which that I go to for research, quite frankly, where I heard someone say this and I was like, nah, come on. Like they're kind of blackballing some of DeSantis's ideas. And I say this again as a person that really loves Trump, but I'm like, whoa, guys. If a candidate has good ideas, let's make sure we report on that, because ultimately the people need to prevail. Not DeSantis, not Trump. Ultimately, the people need to prevail. All right, like the Bible says, and what John said when Jesus came down, I must decrease so that you can increase. All right, that's the way I feel about politicians. Love their ideas, but they must decrease. Government needs to become smaller so we, the people, become larger. So here's DeSantis's 4 pillars that I want to get into. He says, stop the invasion. First and foremost, you just heard the man say, listen, rules of engagement. We need to be able to use force to repel some of these people coming, invading our border, especially when it comes to these drug cartels, right? He built the wall. Obviously, a lot of people, well, listen, we don't need to build a wall because of the landscape and this and that. We can use drones. No, I'm sorry. We use drones. We do all that kind of stuff. And you can see the invasion at the border. The numbers have been insane. Over 2 million every year since Joe Biden has been in. It has been absolutely insane. So no, we need a wall. A wall will deter people. A wall will slow people down. That'll give our Border Patrol agents enough time to process illegal aliens that do happen to slip through, but we can repel, Lord willing, the vast majority of them, or just deter them altogether when they know that we're going to stand strong against the border. So this is very, very important stuff. So stop the invasion. One of his pillars, built the wall. Hold the cartels accountable. Again, that relates to what the video you just saw. Work with states to enforce the law. I love this. So you empower the states to, wait a minute, we've got an illegal alien here in New York. All right, we got an illegal alien right here in Florida, in Texas. Okay, the federal government works with ICE again and works with states to say, you have the right to expel these citizens out of your state, empower the states. That's federalism. I absolutely love that. So he's going a step further, or two, frankly, than Trump did at the border wall, and he's making it very pliable, which I like. So I hope Trump will glom onto these policies and go even further with his policies. And so I think this is very important. One of the things that he wants to do, or a couple of more things, he wants to end Biden's parole program. For those of you that aren't familiar with that, the parole program is simply people from the DHS is allowing, or they created new programs to allow for Venezuelans, Haitians, Cubans, and Nicaraguans, I can never say that right, to stay in the United States for up to 2 years on what they would call a grant of temporary discretion status. So these people come into our country for 2 years. Do you think they're leaving? Now they can enter illegally. They don't have to enter like legal immigrants did. And then it's only for qualified applicants. So who are the qualified applicants? Anyone that makes it through the border illegally. We know that's true, right? So please, so that has to be stopped. Biden's parole program. This is the stuff that I feel like even Trump should be talking about, and help people to remind voters of why he was so good. That's what I think Trump has to do. Also, DeSantis promised to end the Biden approach of catch and release. All right, so catch and release goes bye-bye. And then he wants to reinstate Trump's Remain in Mexico policy, which I think was probably the most brilliant move by Trump, the Remain in Mexico policy. And so, yeah, you keep that. As Republicans, you keep that. That was an excellent idea by Trump and his administration. He wants to, again, build the wall. He wants to use the military aid to aid Border Patrol agents. He also wants to get rid of it says here, it also includes strategies such as ramping up the battle with the drug cartels, declaring them transnational criminal organizations, and laying out the rules of engagement, which is what he basically explained in that. But I guess that's the classification. Now I'm looking for my pen that I just lost. The classification, he would classify them or declare them as transnational criminal organizations, which I guess may be under international law. I'm not sure exactly how that works. He can lay out rules of engagement, so he'll do just that. And that, man, I'm so happy to hear that. It's unbelievable. He goes on to say, I look at the issue at the border, and there's some people in the media, some people of certain political persuasions that just dismiss it as kind of a Texas problem or an Arizona problem. But I'm here to tell you, when you don't have control of your own border, that's an American problem. Amen to that. Amen to that. He also announced that he didn't birthright citizenship. You guys know what birthright citizenship is, right? Illegal aliens come here, pregnant women. They drop their, have their kid here in the United States of America, and those kids are Americans, despite the fact that their parents broke the law. And then you have a bunch of liberals that say, oh, these are dreamers and stuff like that. Okay, all right, let's do that. Listen, let's be honest. We're not going to send anybody back. No Republicans on the Hill have any courage to send any illegal immigrants back, or any other people that were born here and took advantage of the warped definition of birthright citizenship. But we need to clarify that, I believe, under the 14th Amendment, and you make this a deterrent. Your child will not be an American citizen. If you're an illegal alien and you come to the United States illegally and you have birth and you give birth to a child, your child will not become a U.S. resident as a result of that, or a U.S. citizen as a result of that. Not automatically. It will not happen. They will have to go through the same process that the parent went through. Guys, listen, I appreciate you tuning in to this edition of the Carl Jackson Show podcast. I just wanted to pop this one out. I'll be in again for the Officer Tatum tonight. So it's been a busy, crazy week, but I wanted to make sure that I got this to you. I'm not sure that I'll be talking about this tonight. I got so many other things that I'd like to discuss, but I felt like this was a really important topic worth discussing. So again, please subscribe to the podcast wherever you go to get your podcast: Apple, Google, Spotify, YouTube, and Rumble. Please remember, when you go to YouTube and Rumble, click on that subscribe button, rate and review the page. That's going to help us move up the charts. Follow me on all things social media at The Carl Jackson Show. We're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're on True Social, we're on Getter at The Carl Jackson Show. And until next time, don't grow weary doing good. God bless you.